is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today.
Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be comparing the two LEGO Indiana Jones Lost Tomb sets. The first from the very first wave in 2008, and the new 2023 one. So let's get into it. The new one, which we have here on the right, will cost $40 when it comes out April 1st, 2023, and it has 600 pieces with 4 minifigs. The original one came out December 29th, 2007, and had 277 pieces. It came with 2 minifigs and a skeleton, and it retailed for $20, which with inflation would be about $28 today. So basically, we've got 600 pieces for $30, or 277 pieces for about $28 in today's money. But let's take a look and see which one is actually the superior set for the money that you gotta pay for them. So for our Indiana Jones minifigs, there's obviously quite a big difference between the two. And, you know, Indiana Jones has a relatively basic outfit to begin with, so LEGO making so many additions about 15 years later is a pretty big jump. So first off, we have the hats. You know, the original hat didn't have any hair underneath, whereas the new hat actually has a hair print underneath, or rather a hair mold is the better way to say it. So that's pretty cool, and the fact that there's hair covering up the back means that the new head can also have an alternate expression, whereas the old one does not. So here we've got kind of a puzzled face, and of course, a regular, more adventurous, determined face for both figures on the other side. Both have the classic Indiana Jones satchel, which looks really, really good, and the torsos are quite similar. The old one has a little bit more pronounced detailing with printing on the black of the shirt underneath, whereas the new one does have that printing, but it uses some more tan colors there as well. The hands are different because the new one has the adventurer gloves and the old one just has, you know, bare flesh hands. Then, of course, he does have a belt on the hips of both, but the new belt is more black. The original is brown. Both have the gold belt buckle, and both also have the holster belt that goes across the bottom, too. The other thing to point out is the new one does have back printing, whereas the old one does not. It's also hard for me to say which figure I like better, because of course the new one is really, really great with all the detailing, the hair molding. It does look awesome, but the old one has a certain timeless charm to it that it's hard for me to just write it off completely and say it's not good anymore. So, I don't know. I think that they're both really cool for different reasons, and I'd love to hear what you guys think of the figures. The next direct comparison we can do is Marion Ravenwood. Now, of course, she is Indy's first on-screen love interest as far as the release of the movies goes, even though Temple of Doom is chronologically first. Anyways, she is an awesome character, and it's great that she has 2 awesome LEGO minifigs. The original had these bright blue eyes, which are honestly a little jarring because you don't see very many colored LEGO eyes unless it's something super, super specific, so it is a little odd that she had those, but it is kind of a defining characteristic for the character. Now, of course, both characters we see here are wearing that white dress that Belloc gives her, so it makes sense that, you know, both designs are pretty similar. The backs of the torsos also are very, very different as well. You can see the new one has back printing, the original does not, but both sides do have a scared face on them, the original having those blue eyes we talked about, and the new one being a little bit more, I guess, modernized, I guess is the way to put it. But the one thing I will say, I do think that the new hairpiece works really well. It's kind of that standard female hairpiece in black, which is relatively uncommon, but I really like the old hairpiece. I think that it's actually exceptional, and I'm going to show you what it looks like if you put the old hairpiece on the new figure. I just think it looks a little bit better. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments, but I think that the old hairpiece is actually superior. And I guess for kicks and gigs, I'll go ahead and put the new hairpiece on the old figure. The other thing to point out is that the new figure has dual molded legs, which gives you the bare feet on the bottom and the ripped dress up top. Now look, I do love the old figures. I have a nostalgia soft spot for them, but I'd be lying if I said that the new legs aren't a million times better. It just adds so much more depth to the figure, and it makes it look so much better, and it's definitely a nice upgrade. Now, the new set comes with Sala, and the old one did not, so there's not really anything to compare here. And truth be told, it's a pretty basic figure to begin with. I mean, it's a really cool one. He's got the head wrap from the CMF series, as well as some of the hospital characters from Lego City, which is definitely a nice inclusion. He's got a brand new torso and head, so it's definitely a cool figure. I like it a lot, and I'm super glad to finally have a Sala minifig, but since there wasn't one in the original, there's not really much to say in a comparison video like this. And the most direct comparison we can do is with the mummy that comes in the new set and the skeleton that comes in the old one. Actually, the skeleton is a little bit more accurate to what we see in the movie, because we don't really see, like, a mummy, quote-unquote. I mean, we do see some mummified corpses and things like that, but I think the skeleton is a better representation. So I think this wins for accuracy, in my opinion, but for play value, this one wins. You know, if I were a kid playing with these sets, I could imagine this being like a reanimated, come-back-to-life zombie mummy that, you know, Indiana Jones has awoken, and now he's got to fight him. So, you know, I think that there's more play value with the new mummy, although I do think the original skeleton is probably the better accurate one. But I'd be curious what you guys think on that. Now, the sets themselves are built at a slightly different scale, but they get the same thing across. I want to talk about some of the things that I like on this one, and just go back and forth and talk about where one excels and the other falls behind a little bit. Now, it's hard not to say that the new one is the superior model. I mean, it's almost triple the piece count. You got so much more detail. It's taller. It's deeper. There's a lot of good that comes with the new set. I also think that, of course, these Egyptian, you know, Anubis-style dog god statues are much, much more detailed than the original ones, both in size and complexity. But there's a certain charm that goes with the old one that I've always really loved. You know, I love that it's not that much space. You know, you could really display this on a shelf pretty well, whereas this one takes up a lot of space thanks to the back room there, which we'll look at momentarily. So I do think that there's a lot of difference. I love the charminess and quaintness of the original, but the new one is definitely the superior play model between the two. Now, both have the feature where you can knock the dog over to hit the back wall. So on the new one, you just push this tab up and it knocks the wall back. Whereas on the old one, we'll have to push the new one back just a moment. You want to make sure that these little staff pieces here are pushed up so that it doesn't get in the way. And you pull this tab out, and then it falls over and knocks the wall back. Now, it's not a perfect knockout every time because, you know, you can have the skeleton in the way, which was a play feature, but if you take the skeleton out of the way, it usually knocks pretty well. So it's just a little bit of difference there. Now, while I'm spinning this one around, you can see we've got some stickers on the sides of the build here, which I think gives it a little bit of extra layering, you know. We do have some stickers in the back there. I'm actually going to lift the bottle up to get those stickers closer. So we've got some stickers in the back that look a little bit more real-life Egyptian compared to the Legoized ones we get on the modern version, which we'll look at momentarily. And, of course, I love how they centerpiece the C-3PO and R2-D2 hieroglyph, which, of course, is in the original movie. But here it's more of a centerpiece, whereas on the new one, it's kind of like you got to search for it. So I could see people liking one or the other a little bit better. Of course, we've got these steps walking up to the staging area for the Ark of the Covenant, and we have the Ark right here. Now, I do think that the old Ark is superior. In fact, let me just go ahead and grab the new Ark so that we can look at them side by side. I just think that the old Ark is a little bit better. I don't know. This big 2x4 brick with stickers on the side, it just doesn't do it for me the way that the old Ark does. I love that both have the handlebars, you know, so that you can have your minifigs pick it up. But as we see in the movie, the handlebars are removable on the Ark. You know, they have to slide them into place and everything. So it does make more sense, and the original is more accurate than the new one for that reason. Since we were just talking about stickers on the new model, let's talk about them on the old model. We've got these Lego-style stickers. You know, I just think that they look a little bit more cartoony, whereas the original one has a little bit more realism to them. But we do have some Easter eggs, kind of a Crystal Skull-looking skull right there. Also some, like, Bionicle and Exoforce-looking stickers there, so that's pretty cool. And I love these eyes that are on here. We have some eyes peering in the corner here, as well as some eyes on this sticker here. So I love that this set adds a little bit more story, that it's more playable than the original one, and I think that that's definitely a cool addition. We also have all of these snakes here. Now, both sets have snakes, but they're different colors. In this one, they're dark green and dark blue, and we also have a play feature here, which is borrowed from the original, where you have this little tab here, and when you push it up, a snake will fall through the hole, which I think is very, very cool. The other thing that's cool about the snakes on this one is we have a snake upright coming out of the wall here, so you can lay Indy down, you know, like that scene where he lays down and he looks up and he's face to face with the snake. So it's hard to do with one hand, but you get the idea. We also have that C-3PO Easter egg we talked about on the other side. So it's a little bit more hidden on this one versus being right in your face on the original. Here's how the snake play feature worked on the original. You loaded up all the snakes in the top here, and then there's a tab around back that you push down. And you had to push it a couple times to kind of feed the snakes out, but then they would spill all over the set, and then you just pick them up and you put them back up top again. Oops, it wasn't quite reset, but then you just refill it, and hours of play value can be had from that. I also like that there was this blue crystal up top because it added an extra adventure Indiana Jones could go on, you know, to come back for the blue crystal. So I think that that's really cool, and the new set kind of has that with the mummy that he could come back and fight, but again, I just love layering these sets with more play value than just what we see in the movies. Let me know what you guys think of these sets in the comments down below. Needless to say, I think that both are exemplary models from LEGO for the Indiana Jones theme, and while the new one is definitely superior on details and playability, I think there's a certain charm with the old one, and even today at $28, I think that this would be amazing. In fact, I think at $20, this is one of the greatest $20 LEGO sets of all time, and I do think that the new one's great too, so hey, head out to stores and get this one when it comes out, and if you ever get the chance to pick up the original one, I highly, highly recommend that as well. Be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hit like and subscribe. Check out my other LEGO Indiana Jones videos, because I'm the biggest LEGO Indiana Jones fan on the internet, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and maybe check out one of my other videos listed here.